on the left side, as always, in red, on match point against Mimile on the right side in blue, who has to bring it back now, has to try to get the reverse sweep, and he is going in full guns blazing with a Vanguard Panzeri Divisiona. And he has the good side of the map, I would argue. Or how are you on the Orsha situation? I know a couple of people...
Yeah, definitely right side favored. Definitely. In this matchup, I think it's not that relevant because neither side has super fast transports. But for example, if one side were MGB and it got the right side, I would say that heavily favors the right side with the fast transports, because you can rush the center hill city before your opponent can reach his half and basically push your opponent off the center hill or push him to the very edge within the first minute of the game.
True. We also have Latties, we have MGs here, and this is going to be interesting.
But the MGs are not coming in on can't the Maxims come in on Kuber? Like, he needs something like at least a Kuberwagen to go into the town, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like these transports are just that a little bit too slow. I mean, not like his opponent has super fast ones, but still, like a single unit in a Kuberwagen is kind of a must.
I'm not quite sure about the transport situation in Panzeri Division. Or maybe he messed it up. Maybe he just realized, fuck, I got the wrong transport for these MGs. Because, yeah, the other side has Spandaus, which are MG 34s, I believe. Or, yeah. And they have them in Jeeps. So, those can really zone him out here now if they get into the right spots, realize what happens.
Yeah, I mean, even the stack count is gonna be there already when the slow ones arrive.
Yeah. Yes, that's an issue. It's not quite as big of an issue as with the Hungarians or the Italians, as the Ford AA is at least 75 kmh, but it's still a relatively slow truck. Like, it's not the 80 kmh.
Yeah, it's not super slow, but yeah. I feel like it's slow enough where you want one unit in a faster transport rushing ahead.
Absolutely. Lottie coming in the slow transport as well. I'm really not quite certain what the transport options are. I haven't played Panzeri in a long time, and the last time I played it for the meme T26s in C-Phase, so I didn't focus on anything else back then. That was quite the game. Might have even been against Yamin. I'm not quite sure who I played against. I made it quite deep into C-Phase. I still somehow lost on Harushaya back then. Hopefully, Mimile will be able to push it through. Though I don't believe we will see many T26s, because against Shermans, they kind of struggle.
Yeah, I mean, they're still very cheap, so you can still insert them here and there as support weapons that just are very cheap.
Meanwhile, the T26 is pretty amazing against stack hounds, so I like that idea. And yeah, the Stooks and the KV1s will be important against any Shermans ever coming up. Though it seems like we will have a Shermanless start for now on the side of Yamin. Instead of that, a lot of Maoris, Kadadromis, and
two leaders.
Top leaders.
In the center.
Yeah. Like, and I like the... three leaders. Yeah, I like the triumvirate. Everything comes in number 3. That is really...
No! What is he trying to tell us?
Give us 3 carrier 50 cults as well. But yeah, all infantry units coming in groups of 3s.
We need your skills.
If he actually...
What conspiracy is this?
If he actually micros them well enough here that every leader has exactly one of these infantry next to them and he always engages them well, oh, that would be lovely, but I don't believe that's that.
It's a free conspiracy! It's because all the OP decks ever in Steel Division, they are all free. The 3rd FSJ, 3rd Mech, 3rd Guards Tank Corps, they're all frees. And now he starts with free of everything. It's the code. It's the numbers. Code. What do they mean?
Yeah, he has to break the second in front. It's 3rd New Zealanders now. The Holy Trinity there is achieved. Yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting. We have a T-36 from the get-go, going most likely into the only area where there is a Sherman, and that's quite unfortunate. As it is going into that southern open area. And yeah, we have some Taka and Puya in BMWs in the south. I would like one in the center as well.
Yep.
Yeah, that might be your only
Yeah, I mean-
spot that you actually can bring in something fast. I remember thinking about that back in the day, but I'm not certain. I'm not an expert when it comes to the Finnish. I've never been that great with them, even when they were absolutely meta. Back when Molotovs were basically TNTs but faster. And like it's always funny to look back at history. Like we always still find stupid shit in Steel Division, but like looking back into like 2019 days and just how broken some of the stuff was. Like 15-point rifles, Molotovs that just absolutely nuked stuff out of existence, Shermans with 2,000 meter range. Those were the wild times for sure. And
what do you mean Shermans? T-26s with 2 kilometer range, bro.
True.
That was the real shit.
What is the start here? What did Mimile expect? Why does he have 2 Brewsters? Wait.
Is this why it doesn't have fast starting vehicles?
But he messed it up.
He wanted to strafe with the Brewsters?
But he messed it up completely.
What's happening? Huh? What's going on? By the way, Yamin immediately giving up the northern forest, doesn't even contest it, not even a single cheap unit to, make his opponent guess. If Mimile wants, he can immediately, deploy half of those units into the forest on the edge instead.
140 AA getting sniped by a Stackhound in the south as well. Lots more T-26s and the KV-1 pushing in the south. Sherman? Wait, where's the Sherman gone? Did he remove the Sherman or is it in this? No, he did remove the Sherman, so no Sherman for Yamin here at the beginning. So it gives the T-26s some room to really put some pressure up. The Brewsters are just wild to me.
Deployment, despite him being so slow, went pretty alright, right? Like, he got his units into the center. There's the Struck now, or the Sturmy, which will basically hold back all the aggression that's possible there right now. In the center south, he got that building complex on the other side, and his armor's coming up and didn't get sniped. There's no AT guns in the back that would be dangerous to the Klimi, or the Sturmy in the center. And despite this super weird air double Brewster thing, I mean, at least he didn't lose the airplanes, so he's still gonna just have 2 fighters for later, which is nice, I guess. And he maybe baited out some AA ammunition, but it went overall pretty good, I would say. He's also aggressive in the north now. If he gets that Jakari into the opposite forest, that's actually gonna be pretty fucking annoying.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the south, Stackhound there. Really good micro from Yamin. The KV-1 was at 99% aim time when the Stackhound broke line of sight, got out of there quickly. And so the KV-1 not able with getting any kills yet, but it put so much pressure up here. The Stackhound can't fight that. Like, even side shot wise, it has a chance of bouncing.
Fuck this! Hey, but it doesn't go for the Klimi, it goes for the sniper. That might be nice, because it will limit his vision quite a lot, but he misses it!
Straight sidestep there. That was the classic, that was the in front of Minas Tirith move there by the snipers. Just sidestepping those bombs like an absolute chat. As the Klimi moves forward.
And he also forced out an early buffers now on Yamin's side. It's fairly far back deployed. And, I mean, that's not so bad. Now this buffers is gonna need to walk up for quite a while. That's also quite a few points sunk into that already. And in the north, this situation is super duper annoying. Like, the Jakari are gonna make it all the way in there. There's a T-28 and, BA-10 up there. That's also gonna be problematic. He's probably gonna need a Sherman to deal with that. And I mean, this is 59. This is a completely different Mimile we're seeing here, and I'm loving it.
Yes. 16-8 now. Stackhound in the south gets the Yakaris pinned down before they can use their Panzerfaust. And really good Stackhound micro down there by Yamin. Using their speed nicely. Getting a flag in the open back as well, but T-26 is coming in. And one of the Stackhounds at least will die now. So, yeah. The KV-1 doing their job. Stormy coming up. Using Shermans against them will be tough.
Armor column that's coming up in the center for Mimile.
Yeah, I'm so surprised we don't see anti-tank guns on the side of Yamin.
Yeah, right?
M1 guns should be pretty good against anything that Mimile can throw at him. So, not using them here. A bit wild. Sherman in the north. Yeah, that is pretty good against the T-28. But Yakari might
He'll
spot them in
probably
time.
try and move them north into that light forest, and then they're gonna be annoying again. I mean, I guess he has some Piats there.
And one of the issues here of the Maoris and relying on those as your infantry, you don't have the tank on your infantry.
The Sturmy just got killed by the Sherman.
Stack count Sherman combo there, really nice. Yeah, the stack count with the side shot there as well. Pretty good job. Yeah. That's annoying because T-26s kind of relied on the Stormy to push away Shermans. Yeah. Really good usage of the stack count. Like the stack count micro of Yamin in this game so far, absolutely fantastic. 14-10 for Mimile, but he wants to have that 59.
Another BA-10. Yeah, he's gonna have to hold this attack in the center now, otherwise he's gonna lose every single T-26. He needs to hide them and wait until he has something to kill the Sherman again.
Otherwise he brings AA up, he has a Stormy coming up once more. T-26 in the north being obnoxious, but the Sherman is on the hunt for T-26 blood now.
Well, overall a pretty good opening still for Mimile. That losing that Stuk in the center hurt quite a lot, but it's by no means killed him. And there's already a replacement coming up. Now he just needs to make sure he doesn't lose too many T-26s until that Stuk is back online. And yeah, in the south, if he brings in a little bit of extra infantry, these T-26s plus Sturmy easily gonna push through that southern deployment. There's no AT gun. I wonder, did he forget to bring an AT gun in A?
I don't know. I'm pretty surprised by Yamin also using the digger Piats in the north instead of in the town, as Piats there can be pretty helpful against T-26s getting too obnoxious on your infantry. Let's see, really does not have any infantry anti-tank in the whole town, which means the Sherman and the stack count have to work heavy overtime, and T-28s and T-26s just can pop up wherever they aimed and bully infantry into the ground. Ooh! The run is so good.
There's a Bofors in the back. It's gonna shoot down the Ju-87 in return, but actually the Sherman survives, and that makes this kind of bad if the Bofors actually shoots it down now.
Ju-87 might have been just far enough away. Okay, it survives for now. Or the last shot. Okay, gets out alive. Sherman could have been killed potentially. Oh, T-26 not quite getting the kill there. Yeah, Sherman's side armor still a bit too good.
But now the Stuk is there again, and he's bringing up a Panzerschreck to finally kill the stack hound that's wedged between the buildings there.
Yeah, the stack hound using the cover of the backyards, really good usage there. Backyard giving you yellow cover, allowing them to be stealthy, and T-26s just don't have good optics, so they never see them. Tank carry don't want to get killed in transport. Okay, they get out. T-26 is really getting bullied by that stack hound. Cavalry don't spot them either, it seems. Oh. T-26 finally on the outside. Mutual destruction, that's fine.
Nice. Yeah, that one paid off big time. In the meantime, in the south, he got broken. He lost his little townlet on the southern part of the hill. And he hasn't really gotten infantry into the fight in the south, so he also couldn't take back those flags. Bruce are going down. But he has the Landsberg here at least to push the Spitfire back, I guess.
Yeah, but the Spitfire will find the fresh here most likely as well.
That hurts.
Yeah. The recon Spitfire of the South African Spitfire actually pretty good because it has 120 rounds, and some other divisions it only has 60 rounds, and then it often struggles to shoot down a plane. But this one has enough ammo to get the kill. We have finally a 6-pounder gun, but T-28 already on it, and a T-28 with its 3 MGs, actually pretty decent HE output. Not quite able to do the job though. And
the second Stuk also went down in the center.
Yeah, that is a big problem.
The Landsberg is not engaging the Sherman. Phew, luckily for Landsberg, the Sherman missed. T-26 gets the kill.
T-26 absolute chat, but the rest of the situation right now really deteriorating for Mimile, losing a lot of his T-26s there, and his infantry is down to 2 cavalries as well. He needs more stuff in the center. ISU 152 is the investment now. He needs to bring it up infantry with the next tick there. In the south, it looks pretty decent. Yakari pushing forward. Some infantry there to help out the T-26s grabbing land would be nice as well, but he should...
There's another really sneakily positioned stack hound there.
Yakari finding it with the Panzerfaust. Gets the kill. Important kill there. Digger Piat coming in, that's pretty
crucial. The T-26. He really needs to push out this Oplight Maori combo here that will basically secure this sector. But in the center, he's completely falling apart right now. He lost way too many T-26s. And losing the second Stück was basically unacceptable. Because, like 2 Stücks already down. That was really what was holding him together there. Losing the scout plane and the fighter also limits him in the future. And maybe even forces him to buy extra fighters.
He is sneaky in the north though. Lati going for some hunting there. Like that. Wolverine Sherman combo there is strong, but Pak 38 should be able to hold that away until the Sherman HE tank comes up. Well, T28 and T26 is rotated into the center, didn't take the fight in the north, that's important. Keeping those alive. There's still the 6-pounder though, and the 6-pounder is aiming onto the T28, but it has alignment issues. Oh, saved by the slope there. Okay.
That's a creative slope bug if I ever saw one.
Yeah, 6-pounder struggling big time there. Maxime gets pinned down by the Maoris. Cavalry going down as well. And the Piats find the KV-1 in the south. Ooh, this is brutal. Yeah, Digger Piats, really important. As I said, I was really surprised that we didn't see any of them in the center earlier on. Bleed is holding their ground pretty nicely in the center. ISU and Stormy engaging there, but the 6-pounder is still around.
And at short range, that really is deadly to these kind of tanks. Maybe not so much the ISU, but even the ISU, if it's short range and maybe potentially not right in the front, but like slightly angled, that can be brutal.
T26 in the south still trying to help out, but yeah, the KV-1 was so important to deal with the Shermans. And we are now in B phase, and that turns the table hardcore when it comes to income. With 170 points now for Yamin versus only 125 for Mimile. So Mimile already has to hunker down here, and the point advantage is more substantial than in previous games, but it's still not a really big and comfortable one.
Trying to go forward now in the south here and finally, get rid of that Maori Oplite combo here, but I'm not sure the Flamers are going to be enough against the Oplites. Both sides stopped firing basically because they were down to so little squad strength. But an RJ-87 coming in the south actually, and there's no A here, so that Sherman should be toast. That's something at least. And in the center he has stabilized as well. He's brought up a wild assortment of, Gleamies, Sturmies, and T26s again. What's gonna be dangerous for him is the armor that was previously in the north, the Wolverines and Sherman have rotated back into the center, and the Wolverines are probably gonna shark out of there and try to get side shots onto the Finnish armor in the center of the hill.
No, if T26s can get in range of Wolverines, they're actually somewhat scary.
Yeah, they're gonna tear them apart. Yeah, they're gonna actually destroy them. Especially the T26 has T28 has 2 turrets, right now?
No, it has only 1 turret, but it has 3 MGs. Like it has 4 turrets, but 3 of them are MGs. It's not the M3. As Sherman is holding the ground, Stuck coming up there. It should win this engagement this time. Nothing there to sideshot it. 6-pounder gun.
That 6-pounder is still lurking there. But there's a bunch of infantry and other vehicles around, so a single 6-pounder or 2 HP shouldn't really be too scary. On the other hand, the Sturmy versus the Sherman. Did the Sherman just get another frontal pin against that Sturmy?
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Second time!
Caster cursing that Stormy hardcore. Classic Protoss soccer move there. 13-11 for Mimile again at the moment. Lost flags in the south again though, as the Maori still holding out really nicely there. Stormy got the Sherman though. Oh no, the Sherman got killed by the cluster earlier. But Stormy is moving around, helping out the Akari to push. Wants to stick away from the Digger Piats this time around. As the flag in the south should be easily captured for Mimile. He just needs to park a T26 basically right on top of it. Instead of keeping them around in weird positions.
Yeah, he's also breaking through in the that little townlet to the south again now, with Chikari going in and some T26s coming up from the reserve. He's trying to angle around the Sherman in the center to find good shots onto the Finnish tanks. Gets one on the Sturmy, but bounces, and that must clearly dead. That's the 6-pounder down
coming
there.
around from the side.
Nothing
Yakari pinned down.
there to suppress
Oh,
it.
does he get a shot on the Stormy? Stormy does get missed. Can it get a shot out before the 6-pounder? It will be equal shots on both sides. Mutual
Oh, that's
destruction.
such a bad exchange. That was only a 2 HP 6-pounder.
Yeah, but ISU is still alive. For now, he holds the high ground. And the high ground
And if
is
he
important,
actually
but he
gets to the edge
needs
of the
something
field, he
else to
can even shoot at
get
the
there. He needs to
commander.
get a Puck 38 or something to support that ISU. Because there are 2 Wolverines and 2 Shermans coming in. And obviously, on its own, ISU can do quite a bit, but not that much. Another 6-pounder also coming down. Nostovecki pushing forward already. That would be a great find. As that 6-pounder down further in the south, in the backyard once more. Like, Yamin really good on the position there.
He's
Really
really
nasty
trying
otherwise.
to shark in shots from the sides. He's now repositioning the 2 Wolverines that he had positioned for similar maneuvers in the north to probably bring together all 4 Wolverines to become a Suicide Squad against the ISU, I guess.
Yeah,
Which
ISU
is gonna be
engaging
successful
good against
with 4
infantry at the moment,
Wolverines.
but it needs backup. Needs some anti-tank guns or something. Only T-26 is rolling in at the moment. T-26 is in the south, at least getting some control over one of the flags, but a Sherman finally coming in.
Yeah, he's showing the side! Ah! He needs to run that away. It's too far. No, the Wolverine's already coming in. It's too late. It's stressed out as well from the 2-inch carrier shooting at it. Actually, that was a 360 no scope against that one Wolverine. Second Wolverine misses the shot. ISU aligning, reloading 5 trillion years. Wolverine gets out of there, but in the meantime, the 6-pounder south takes out that Landswerk, and that's another painful loss.
Yeah, taking out the carries as well. That 6-pounder in a fantastic spot. Needs to get out of there now as it gets run over by T-26s at
Wolverine
a
comes in for round 2. I think that hit the ISU, but it was a APCR shell, so not dead yet.
2-inch
And
carrier
ISU
trying to
wants to-
deal with it with its 2-inch mortar. A 6-pounder getting bullied by T-26s in the south now. Gets taken out. Mimile with great success there. The ISU holding out nicely. Wolverines coming in a bit too piecemeal. And also having slight issues penetrating. Don't know why he didn't wait for the Shermans and the other 2 Wolverines to come in. ISU now retreating a bit back. And the T-26 gang is quite scary in the south. Bullying the artillery commander now as well. And it's a 59 for Mimile. So this is great.
That Spitfire is also directly above that Bofors now.
As we
That's a
are
good move.
getting close to the end of B phase, so the point of advantage for Yamin when it comes to income will be the biggest soon. And if he can't use that at that moment, like in the up to minute 25 or so, then Mimile slowly but surely will gain more and more income, and especially the situation in the center. If you lose that edge, like if the Oblitus and the Reki there will get pushed out of this game is basically over.
Now, if you lose like being pushed to the complete edge where you still have these little forests and you control those, is one thing. But being completely pushed off the center hill and your opponent being able to freely position his tanks on the edge to fight you at maximum range, that's usually pretty much a death
Really
sentence.
dangerous engagement for the Wolverine here. On this range, T-26 and the B-810 only having a slow chance of penetration, but they still have a chance of penetration on this range. As
And to stress it
that
out.
Wolverine is in trouble. It's a 3-star veterancy Wolverine, but it also seems to struggle to get its gun on target, and it goes down in the edge.
Another elevation bug. Sherman gets some shots in. Those were good. Now, one Sherman, very adventurous here, charging into those vehicles. If the T-26 shoots into the side, I mean, that's also not very healthy for the Sherman.
Yeah, and Kaveri trying to get an anti-tank grenade on this as well. The Sherman needs to get the hell out of there. Will be able to do that for now. 50mm Puck 38s coming up now. ISU helping out big time against some Spandaus, getting 2 with 1 shot. And that helps out the infantry fight in the north as well. These 2 Spandau MGs, super obnoxious for the carries. Stop them from ever moving through the open. And now, another flag should fall into Mimile's hand. Though at the same time, massive push for Yamin in the north. Oblitus, field engineers there, Stackhounds pushing through. Getting the 2-star flamer before they can get into the forest. And there are only 2 infantry units there remaining for Mimile. Field engineers coming in for them hot. And that is an important flag captured back from Yamin, which also maybe could be used for some slow push into the hill from the north side.
I think Mimile should not fall for the same mistake that also plagued him on Orsha North, where he lost a similar position. It was also the northern hill, and he kept grinding units into it. I think he should just write this off. There's so many units in there now just deploy one Maxim into the back building complex and keep fighting for where you're actually strong.
Yeah, T-26s and BA-10s also just bullied another Sherman that tried to push up the hill. Wolverine getting shot by another A-10. BA-10. Wolverine disengaging out of range now, so BA-10 needs to get the hell out.
Pushed out to the edge of the hill right. Ah, no, there's a Sherman up to the north, ready to...
Oh, ISU with the absolute snipe. That line of sight is so minimal, but it gets the shot onto the Wolverine from once across the map.
Oh!
That ISU absolute MVP. Absolute MVP.
It only has 3. Note 3 such as the starting units and the OP decks, AP shells left.
Yes, you carry
I'll
some
run
of
out soon, it's going to replenish it.
Nostrovecki coming up. A 17-pounder now on the way in, and the Southland situation deteriorating a bit for Mimile as well. He still has a Stormy there, so if the Shermans ever try to cross the open, he should be able to constrain them, but he lost the flag there. It's a back to a 12-12 situation for now. And Yamin just got his last good take of income. So his income advantage on the battlefield now is the biggest it will ever be in this game. Now both sides' income's really low, but Mimile slightly higher again with the 90. 10 points, nearly a T26 more per minute at this stage. So it makes a difference there. And your carry coming around.
I mean, right now he doesn't really need big offensive action. Mimile just needs to dig in where he is, pick his battles, and you know, not die, because he is ahead. And if he can just dig it in at a 12-12, he'll win.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like in the north, he still runs it, Maxim in aggressive. The T26 is also way forward deployed. Why? Just leave that one Maxim in the buildings in the back. Maybe get an AT gun behind it in case he tries to rush you, and then forget about it.
Carry trying to get on top of the Digger Piat, somehow losing that fight. Drengan really carrying hard. The carry came in a bit too much on their own. T26 and T28, yeah, they shouldn't go in that hard against the Stack Hound. That flag is lost anyways. Just focus onto the center, holding the center. ISU firing around here once more. 17-pounder deployed pretty defensively there for Yamin. Mimile should never push that ISU forward. It's amazing on holding that ridge. With nearly all Wolverines taken out, there's nothing offensively that can take that out. But 17-pounders now sharking around everywhere. One more used in the south as well. And if the ISU ever falls, Shermans will just completely collapse the center. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He needs that ISU.
Yeah, I mean, he's using it good defensively here, and yeah, but he's still buying in more armor to counterattack the north. I really disagree with this choice. He can just fortify the center and, you know, stabilize the south. What is he hoping to gain here? I mean, there isn't that much AT here, actually. Maybe the armor is actually gonna do it.
He gets the Stack Hound, and he gets a 150mm artillery piece in the rear, which is interesting. It seems like he wants to
create the AA slowly, right?
Yeah, I believe he wants to kill off the Bofors to get some air spam in again. But the Spitfires are a problem as well, and he just lost some of his AA. Okay, he gets another Bofors. Ooh, I would like to just see more frontline stuff. Kills a Sherman with a tank over to Junta though. Panzerschreck there, really important. Every Sherman getting killed is so key at this point. Ooh, 17-pounder find the spot though. The 17-pounder found the spot against the ISU, and the ISU is not moving. Oh, come on, ISU, you need to move. Starting to move now, it's too late. 17-pounder gets the kill. At least one of the Shermans is killed already, making it a bit harder now for Yamin to push up there, but it's still a massive advantage, and that's why I don't like the Bofors investment. That's why I don't like the SFH investment here either, because you just don't have any AT here now. You don't have Stormies, you don't have KV-1s, you don't have Pak 38s even. Pak 38 he brought in got killed off quite quickly as well. So all you have is T-26s, one Stormy that's
a single Stormy in the center.
And the tanker to Junta.
I guess that's gonna be the new linchpin of the defense. But it's a serious downgrade from the from the ISU.
Yeah. Also, all his infantry now does, like the Nostovakis that he brings in, all have no AT weapons anymore. Like the Panzerfaust infantry pretty much used up by now as well. And a big question is also, with a Vanguard deck, how deep will his deck be? Because this game might now go the long way again. And then the question is, do you really have enough cards in there for a 50-minute game?
Panzari definitely also just naturally more of a short-lived deck, right? It's not super deep, just generally, especially when it comes to infantry. And from how he deploys his stuff in the north and south, he still looks like he wants to, counterattack and take ground, but that's so unnecessary. He's throwing away so many points that could be used fortifying his positions. He just needs one flag to be on parity, and that could be, for example, the southern one where the Shermans are pushing up now. Instead, those Shermans are gonna engage the Sturmy now. Actually, only one by one.
Once more, frontal penetration. What the freaking F?
Oh no! I think it was the 17 pounder.
There was the 17 pounder from the side. Yeah, those 17 pounders are key now. We were really surprised why he didn't use anti-tank guns earlier. It seems like he might not have had that many. I mean, he had 6 pounders. I believe they should have come in earlier, especially how much success that one 6-pounder had.
I mean, the 6-pounders came in later and actually did a fantastic job.
Yeah. But it still allowed Mimile to get to a pretty decent ticks for now. He just needs to hold on to it now, though. And with the Stormy going down in the center, the Shermans will move around even more. T-26 has a shot with a side shot there, doesn't get killed. Sherman pretty heavily damaged, though. As the second Sherman moves
what's around to finish it off? Nothing really.
Oh! Sherman. What picked off the Sherman? Was it a BA-10 with a side shot? It must have been a BA-10 with a side shot. So
I think that this was some Axis magic, straight up.
Stormy engaging Maori in the south. Another Stormy being brought in. He wants to kill the Bofors. I believe that's so that he can get in more J87 D5s, which could be quite crucial. Like if he gets rid of all Shermans, there's basically nothing Yamin can do anymore. Then you just need to.
Now here's the play. He takes out the Bofors, and then he had the plane off map in C phase. Then he brings out all 4 of them at the same time and just covers the map in off map from his off map planes.
That sounds like a really wise choice. I couldn't see any better plan in this game whatsoever. Yeah, 150mm SFH coming in. Stormy, really crucial on the way as well. The Stormy in the south has to be careful. Digger Piat's moving in on it. He should be able to spot them now thanks to the Yakari. Yakari getting bullied by the Spitfire.
That Stormy alone is not enough. It doesn't have any infantry to spot for it anymore, really. That Jakari, the only thing left, and that is another position lost, and it's not like there's a secondary line behind it anymore.
I mean, he gets the Digger Piats. He kills that. The Yakari should hold the line. He has cheap infantry to be brought in. And one of the issues with New Zealanders is that all your infantry is 25 points. You don't have the cheap 420-point infantry units per minute in C phase that you kind of want there at this moment with Maverick. Whilst you carry, and especially the Nostovakis are pretty nice with the 20 points. So the Stormy holding the line there, getting the flag back, bring it back to a 12-12, and it's 28 minutes in already, and yeah, Mimile still has a decent advantage in points. But he needs to hold it.
That's true. I mean, the 150mm artillery is also opening fire now. It insta-clapped one of the Maori, does good damage to the Bofors now, actually. And he just sniped one of the Spitfires. And the second Spitfire also goes down in the center. And I believe he was double using those as fighters as well. I haven't seen an actual fighter other than those yet. So it's not impossible that this were his only, real fighter planes, those Scout Spitfires. And they just both died. And we already see the Blenheim coming in the north. And he has actually broken this now, and the Blenheim is gonna help him keep it.
If the Yakari pushes onto the 6-pounder, this would be fantastic. The T-28 alone otherwise can deal with everything else. If the 6-pounder recovers, the situation might still be a bit problematic. I would love to see that Yakari moving forward.
It's gonna be on the slope. It's not quite on the slope anymore.
Meanwhile,
it fell back out of the slope.
Mimile
pounder
actually
saved.
getting more ticks, and every tick he gets here right now is a massive one, as that means another tick for Yamin in the long run that Yamin has to tick up with less and less time available.
Ah, but look again. This mush in the south. He's pushing forward with the Sturmy instead of taking a new defensive position. And if he advances even a little bit further, he's gonna run into the 6-pounder, killing his own defense, running it, into AT guns.
Yeah, trying to kill the Bofors in the south now with 150mm. Not really hitting it. Next Bofors in the south is spotted. Tanker to Junta, really good spot there. Sherman and Wolverine moving around. Obletus will get obliterated there. And that Sherman and Wolverine position is highly risky. I'm not a big fan of that at all for Yamin. Has spotted the Tanker to Junta now. Yeah, Wolverine and Sherman need to get the hell out of there. Both Boston
I will
Bomber...
have to point out that it again has only the magic number left in Panzerschreck shells, which is 3. It might actually run out. If another infantry transport runs by, it might be one of those magic Panzerschrecks that actually shoots every single Panzerschreck ammunition it has.
Yeah. There's another Obletus is coming dangerously close there. And the 1311 here is major right now. Less than 20 minutes remaining. Your carry's coming in. And yeah, the issue of having only 25-point infantry is pretty major right now. Together with some field engineers, I guess. But yeah, North, pretty good. 6-pounder came in there as well. Pretty clutch. Got T26 after the first 6-pounder went down. But pushing into a forest with your carries and Nestovekis is not something you want to do at this point.
I think he's amassing armor for one super push on the center. Like, he has 2 Shermans to the south, a 3rd leader Sherman coming up in the center. He has a Sherman, a Wolverine, and another Sherman coming up. And when he unleashes, if he unleashes all of that at once into the center, I don't think there's enough to hold it back.
Well, there is a Pak 38. The Tankator Junta in the south could potentially get that Sherman. If it gets...
Yeah, I mean, if it bleeds out the Shermans, then sure. But if it's 5 Shermans coming in, that's a lot of Shermans for one Pak 38 and one Sturmy to destroy.
Yeah. The Tankator Junta moving forward. That can find the kill into the Sherman in the south. That would be a major start.
Yeah.
Get spotted.
They spot it.
It's a problem.
Oh.
No, has to fall back.
And now he knows that it's there, so he'll never leave it in such a position again.
Ooh, Boston Bomber gets its bombs out. Tankator Junta number 2 pushed back by Obletus. That bombing run actually was pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, that was
Carry coming around.
I think
Would
it's
love
waiting
another
for
Pak 38 at the spot, like
the motor actually went down.
Another Pak 38 in this northern forest, either covering the northern open ground or behind the Landswerk would be pretty crucial in my eyes. T26 CV goes down.
Yeah. And now the Shermans are closing the noose, like 2 Shermans on the southern hill, 1 in the center together with Wolverine, another leader coming up as well. It's gonna give all of them triple veterancy since there's a commander next to this battlefield, and it's just slowly ensnaring them. The hero Panzerschreck squad in the north already did so much, but now it's being asked to do the impossible: hold back 3 vehicles all by itself. And it obviously can't do it. I think
Blomberg trying to come in for the center. One of the Bofors went down. The other one is pretty much out of position now. So airplay is somewhat viable. If you realize that, maybe some J87 D5s could be good. Oh no, the Bofors is still there. It moved further forward, sorry. His 3-star veterancy. That's not a terrain where you want to have a Planheim or a J87 in.
That monkey to Junta! It's still alive! It's only pinned down! It's in the range of the Wolverine, it only needs to recover!
Doesn't want to move right now, just wants to stand still there. Otherwise this... No, the leader will spot it! The leader will spot it! It's moving in the wrong direction, just stand still. It recovered!
No, if only it stayed where it was, it would have gotten it!
Oh, it might kill the leader! The leader's not close enough to shoot!
No, but he has the guns
engaging
disabled! He has the guns disabled!
Stormy getting the Sherman and the 6-pounder. But it's a 1311 for Yamin. That should not be enough though. with 60 minutes. He needs more. And Tanky Toyota in the south pushing onto another Sherman together with the Akari. T26 will die to a 17-pounder. Yeah, that's not even close to being a fair fight. Two 17-pounders versus a T26. Sherman now starts moving. Got alerted there by the T26. Tanky Toyota only having line of sight for half a second. Not quite enough to align.
They could still get it. The Sherman is stuck.
Maori pushing it around. The carry should be able to get on this. The 150mm trying to fire.
Where is it retreating to?
The Maori will die there. And getting rid of the Yakari and Tanker Toyota, if they are in these buildings, is going to be annoying.
The Sherman stops. I mean, that's a death sentence.
Yeah.
They've accepted their fate, it seems.
Yeah, Sherman goes down. Maori should go down in a second as well. As Molotov flies on top of them, yes. And that's back to a 12-12. Stormy in the center, still alive. Sherman gets the T26 there. More T26s coming up. Another Stormy. Two Stormies, really, really vital. And a lot more T26s. As they are...
The difference between one Stormy and two is gigantic. It's just absurd how much harder it is to crack two Stormies than one.
Yeah, the Sherman, the Stuk in the south also stayed defensively non-stop now, which is really vital. The Yakari and the Tanker Toyota need to be careful to not move too far forward, but they're on the hunt for one more Sherman now as well. As the Yakari, not quite a Molotov range against that artillery leader, they need to get out of that fight. They don't want to fight that out in the open. Mimile, don't lose that flag. Back up to a 13-11 here.
Yeah,
Nostovaki in the north, get the field engineers.
Yeah, the Nostovaki.
And yeah, this game was great. It really finally went down Mimile's favor in the opener, and that's so important on Orsha East. But Yamin still with such resilience here. Like, most players would have fallen a long time ago, but he still somehow has a shot on this game. Still made it back onto the hill somehow, some way. 17-pounder positioning, absolutely fantastic. Got pushed back out of the north again, though, and that is a major issue now. As those flags...
That's a lot of flags.
Exactly. Now cost him, even though he pushes into the center now. Sherman will open up against the Stormy, but on a range where it really shouldn't penetrate this time around. Whilst the Stormy now sees it, shoots back. And
Wolverine coming up. And he needs to break the center, right? Like, he's been posturing and slowly moving for quite some time now, but he needs to kind of break him now. Otherwise, he's not going to have enough time to take him down. Especially
versus Wolverine, both sides penetrate. Stormy has the higher veterancy, but both sides have similar... Oh, Wolverine does miss. Wolverine goes down. Stuk gets another shot onto the Sherman, does bounce. This is a pretty long-range engagement. Sherman needs to move further back, though. It will get killed eventually there. Another bounce. It has no chance of penetrating, but the Stuk gets another shot out. Will be that the one? Yes, it does get a kill on another Sherman.
Yeah.
The other Sherman gets one of the Stormies. But if all armor is dead, like all the big armor is dead, it's still good for Mimile, as Dioplitas can do nothing against T26s and T28s. That's the problem.
He's doing a really good job at miming the flags in the north, so that he is not getting ticked, not even a single tick right now, despite being in a somewhat critical state in, you know, some of these theaters.
Yeah, Boston Bomber coming.
Now it's at 13-11, but it's pretty clear that at this point Yamin is going to need a 15-9, at least for some time. Boston? I don't get it. Why is he hitting like the Maxim in the back rather than Jakari at the front getting the flag? He really desperately needs flags.
T26 under fire by the 6-pounder. 13-11 is something here. Nostovaki in the south. We see a push in the south-south for Mimile again. Dodging the 17-pounders for now. He just needs to keep the Stuk out of 17-pounder line of sight, though. T26
are... on the south side. It's engaging the Wolverine, and that's really not what you want to use this Wolverine for right now.
Oh, yeah. Penetration. APCR is on, so it needs 3 penetrations. It bounces with the APCRs. Oh no, it doesn't shoot the APCRs. Okay, mutual destruction, but that is good for Mimile. 17 pounders pushing up though, quite scary.
The Sherman is slowly reaching the back line. He has to retreat the Sherman back out of the actual center hill to fight the Sherman leader. And Yamin is actually bringing 2 Shermans into the north now.
He needs the flex, but he needs a 59 by now already, with only 10 minutes remaining, and he only has 2 infantry units securing the south right now, whilst there's a good amount of Nostovaki there. 17 pounder at least keeps the T-26 from moving any further. Sherman and Yakari pretty close to each other there in the north as well. The Yakari actually would have a path right on top of that Sherman. Not using it right now though.
Okay, well. Okay, so maybe he's now gonna try and push through the north, like with all of his vehicles there, but there's still a Jakari in the back forest as well with a Panzerfaust that he needs to dodge. In the center hill, he took the last flag that was still in Mimile's hand. And in the south, there's a Sherman commander coming in now. And there is a Sturmy in the back, but he can use that Sherman to, you know, as the base of his defense, and then the Nostoveki are not gonna be able to push anymore, at least. 13-11.
Nice start from Yamin to at least close the gap, but he needs a 59 at this point.
Yeah, I also think so. 14-10. He needs to survive the south push at the same time as grabbing now some more flags in the north, since he put 2 extra Shermans into the north to get off the stack.
Oh, Yakari's in the center, going really suicidal. They most likely will get a 50 cal half track, but they won't get the Sherman. That was the goal they went out for. Trying to get something on top of the Sherman, but the Yakari will have to fall back there. They most likely will get surrendered there now.
He's rushing in the Sherman now in the north, and that there's a Jakari still here. And if that Panzerfaust gets a Sherman, that's a huge loss here. Well, it's spotted. The gun is not aligned. I think that Jakari is gonna get the Panzerfaust kill. Nah, he's trying to run away. I know he's not. It just aligned, and the Jakari gets the Panzerfaust kill, and that's huge.
Really, really important. And we see a T-3485 at this stage. This is a big boy for this. I'm surprised we didn't saw him earlier in the middle, but I guess Stormies kind of do the same job. Though, would argue.
I'm so surprised that Yamin decided to put both of those Shermans into the north together with the stack count and now extra infantry, where.
Yeah, those
I don't know. It's like such a big question mark. You never know what your opponent has in that forest still. And in the center, he's been continuously breaking his opponent. Imagine 2 extra Shermans and 4 extra Oplights in the center right now. He could completely break him into the spawn right now with those extra units.
The stack count going to go down. 6 pounder on the other side though is somewhat dangerous for a T-3485 as well. With its normal AP shell,
Ermi runs into 17 pounder range in the south, but the 17 pounder is walking around instead of shooting because it's under artillery fire. But the Sturk also will have to move further out to meet that Sherman, moving once again into 17 pounder range, which gets further suppressed. Moved out of 17 pounder range, the 6 pounder completely mispositioned further south. But that secures the 15-9. 15-9 for Yamin. And he's rushing further forward to grab more flags.
6 pounder in the north is what holds his opponent back there though. If that 6 pounder in the north might fall, the situation in the north should fall in favor of Mimile again, but Mimile in trouble here, yeah. And this is match ball for Yamin, so if Yamin can keep this 16-8 up, he is going to win this game. Boston coming in for the Taka and Puya in the south, T-26 is
again.
Oblique is trying to go really deep here. T-26 struggling to get on target. Sherman actually having the range onto the T-26. That's a problem. And the Stormy needs to move a slight bit further so it can shoot this Sherman. But not forward. That's the 17 pounder there. Needs to go to the left. To the left. It's not moving. Another flag in the south might fall to that Oblitus. It's an insane game right now. As we see some more Maxims pushing in the north, and that should be enough to push forward there. No Sherman coming in there anymore. So Mimile should be able to secure the North, but a couple of minutes on 16-8 will be enough for Mimile to then finish it off with a normal take. Sherman in the South, though, in the fight against Sturmy,
Yeah,
and
gets
will
engaged.
lose.
Yeah, and the 6-pounder is trying to shark around for the Sturmy, and with the sniper gun now, this Maori and Oplight can move forward and probably secure that flag, but there's a T26 already coming up from the back. The 6-pounder should take care of that, though, probably.
Another 6-pounder in the
Sherman.
center, and a 17-pounder as well. That Sturmy is in great trouble as well. At least will try to retaliate. Oh no! Oh, it's on the wrong spot on the slope. No. Also loses line of sight now.
And now it moved
And now
forward
the
into
17-pounder engages
17-pounder
as
line
well,
of
and
sight.
that will be the end of it.
17-pounder bump.
Ooh, Sherman in the center, getting an
He was on
18-6
the
even for
18-6 for a second there. Gets very close to the bull first.
North needs to be taken. Yakari's in the center, trying to get forward, but Oblitas there a bit too strong. As another T28 comes out, T26 deals with the Oblitas. What a strong game from Yamin here, sticking into this.
Yeah, he's bringing it back. He's bringing it back. I don't think Mimile has enough forces to get back to 14-10. I mean, even if it captures both flags up there in the north, that's not gonna be... Well, right now it would be enough.
BT42 coming in now as well. That's interesting. As Sherman gets pushed back. But yeah, the Stormy in the south did die. The 6-pounders here really, really clutch. BT42 with 2000 meter range, nice, but the 17-pounder is even nicer. Both 6-pounder and the 17-pounder down to 1 hit point, but that doesn't change anything on their effectiveness.
Yeah.
Stormy versus Sherman.
And especially at this range where the T26 can't shoot back, it really doesn't matter that much.
Stormy versus Sherman most likely in the center. Oh no, 17-pounder actually gets on top of it. And it gets
That
another
line
shot
of
out.
sight! That line of sight! Oh no!
Gets the
That
kill.
was such an illegal line of sight right there. Oh, bruh.
6-pounder in the north will survive a bit longer as well. One of the flags will fall, but only T26 is now remaining there. And in the center, we also don't have any Stormies anymore. This game is just completely deteriorating now for Mimile. Yamin with such clutch micro throughout of this. And
both sides have heavily deteriorated, but Yamin just kept that little bit more stuff alive. Especially the Sherman sprinkled throughout the front, held back so many small counterattacks so brutally efficiently. Like we saw multiple times that Mimile tried to re-enter the hill through the forest with like 2 or 3 Chikari, something like that, and a single Sherman just massacring it.
yeah, get some flags back in the north, but in a second Yamin will take over the lead, and that would mean that Mimile would have to get into a tick again, and with only 2.5 minutes remaining, that seems highly unlikely. Yeah, Yamin now ahead in points, just by a sliver, but that will grow and grow over the next couple of seconds, as he still has a double tick here. And there's just not enough forces around on the battlefield anymore. And the 17-pounders and the 6-pounder with 1 hit point each, really, really clutch there. But they did the job, and there's still more Shermans remaining. 2 more Shermans coming in for the south, and they should lock this completely down. As Mimile might get 1 or 2 more flags through the north, but that's not good enough. AK-38 also not capable of dealing with the Sherman.
And really, really aggressive with his Shermans as well. Like, he pushed the one from the center hill off the hill into the Pack-38 that died. And now he was about to push that Sherman leader in the center into the suppressed Jakari. Yeah, I think at this point it doesn't really matter anymore. He has enough depth in his front line. And, yeah, I mean, that was quite the comeback, man. That was quite the comeback.
Yeah, really, really strong play from Yamin. And yeah, what a show here. Mimile with the crate opener, but in the end, it's not enough. And it's GGVP, Yamin taking this game, and with it, taking the series in a clean 3-0 fashion. And he showed absolute stellar fashion here. Mimile coming in with a good plan, coming in with good play into every game, but Yamin just always that step ahead, getting a 3-0 here. Really well played. GGVP, especially here in game number 3. That was a comeback. that absolutely showed he deserves the title, and he got it now. He is the Season 10 League Champion. Congratulations there to Yamin. And yeah, fantastic series. GGVP to both players. That was absolutely insane.
Yeah, really, really, really strong performance by both players. In really entertaining games, right? I mean, the score doesn't tell the whole story. Yes, it was a 3-0, but I would say that doesn't really represent how close some of these games were in many situations, especially the third game. And I think all 3 games were pretty entertaining and were not like one-sided claps. So, yeah, good finals. Even if it's, the cursed 3-0 score, I think it was still good games and not just, a 3-0 clap, 10-minute kind of affair.
Yeah, Sherman's here doing fantastic jobs every time. And yeah, I mean, every of the game nearly went to the 50-minute mark. And yeah, in the end, Yamin was controlling them KD-wise every single time, but there were always moments where it could have turned around if Yamin wouldn't have had such solid play. Like game 1 when Mimile was pushing in the south. In game 2, there was also those moments with the off-map. The off-map play, most likely the weakest part in the series here. But in game 3, like, all other players would have fallen in one moment or another there. But Yamin here, sticking through to it. There was a reason why Mimile was in this final. He really showed that in game 3. But Yamin just that step above it here. And getting the championship with it. Getting in here. And yeah, let's see if Yamin is coming to join us here for a quick interview.
Yeah, I will be leaving now. Even if, of course, an interview would be very interesting, I have other engagements I need to attend to. It was such a pleasure to cast the finals. And yeah, I mean, it was really great. Good game quality. And a new champion, right?
Yep.
It's also something that we don't have every season in Steel Division League, so...
Well played by Yamin here, getting the 3-0. Also looking forward to another Fiery Rommel versus Tanner for the bronze match, but yeah, let's get Yamin in here for an interview. And yeah, thanks Bowser for joining.
All right.
For everybody who hasn't followed Bowser's Twitch channel, do it now, guys. And yep, I will go into a quick interview with Yamin here about this.
Thanks. Bye guys. Take care. Bye bye. Enjoy the interview.
And yep, with that, I will jump into the SD2 voice channel so Yamin can join me here. And yeah, hello there.
Hello,
congratulations.
Wow, thank you.
That was
I to be honest, I would have liked it to go more games, but I was getting to the point where I was too tired, so I just Q move with Sherman's and easy win.
Yeah. It turns out Steel Division hasn't changed over the last 3 years at all. After all, Sherman Q moving still the way to
reinvent
victory.
the Sherman meta.
Yeah, it has been all along. But yeah, congratulations. The first game, you really had that great infantry macro on the north. Game number 2, you had on the lockdown from the get-go. But game 3, he really pushed you to the brink. You still somehow were able to come back there. How worried were you in game 3, actually?
My game 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd lost, definitely. At like the minute 30, to be honest. Because I had like nothing that could kill the Yakari, to be honest. And like when you have 80 points per minute, it's impossible to buy like off map or like artillery, so yeah. It was pretty rough.
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations for a pretty clean season in general. You only dropped 1 map, which is quite the feat. Hard Normal being the only one able to get a scratch in there.
Yes. So. Well played to Mr. Farid.
Yeah.
Shame there could be no Iranian victory today.
Yeah. But we will see if he can do it against Pure 10 in the bronze match. It should be an amazing series once more, as they had a really fantastic game, first one in the group stage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And yeah, it was nice to see Mimile stepping it up as well compared to your group stage games, I would argue. Like, you really pushed you harder this time, but you still were able to rise a bit as well. And yeah, tell us what you're gonna do with all the prize money.
How much is it?
On all the free time, especially as well.
How much money am I rolling in?
At the moment, $121. I still would argue chat could do more there. But yeah,
I need a big spender. Where are the rich people?
Obviously. If you move
Reward the 3-game series.
If you move to Onord country, you might actually buy quite a lot with it.
Yeah, true. I'll take a 1-day trip to Turkey.
But yeah, US Dollarus at the moment pretty powerful around the world still. But
I think game 2 was definitely the most interesting.
Game 2 was. Did you feel pressured there? Because it felt like game 2 was the easiest.
Well, I think I did like an almost perfect plan, like, which sounds very arrogant, but like
it felt like it from the side as well.
He just wasted all of his off maps when I wasn't doing anything in the town. So yeah,
that was what we felt as well. Like his off maps weren't scouted enough, which was the problem there. And it felt like he was playing Dunkirk a bit too much for the idea of being Dunkirk.
Yeah, I refuse to believe people have played enough with the DLC divisions to pick them in League, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's only been like 2 weeks. So yeah. Weird choice.
Yeah, the Dunkirk one was really well played with Syl. I always admire good Syl play, as I'm a Pastaboo myself.
It's very easy when you have a lot of green forest.
True.
But, and I mean, Shermans in a town are just disgusting.
Yeah, though he had you for one moment there. There was one moment in that game as well where we thought he might come back. But he had that Erdkampf just massacring everything.
The Jagdkampf, yeah. That was sad.
That was a pretty big hype moment in the chat, not gonna lie.
And we gave Vulcan viewers 3 Axis vs Allies games, so that's all that really matters.
Really, really good by you there. I mean, Gonzo and Onod also always tried that, but they never fully managed it.
No, they always went for fucking Werebu Panzer divisions, if I remember.
Yeah, eventually one of them always broke it. And a bit of a shame that you didn't give us any King Tigers versus IS-2 today, but that's, I guess, on Mimile.
Well, my tank play is extremely questionable, so that would have been a bad choice. My tank play is good when it's like within 500 meters. When it's like 2k meters, my tank play quickly becomes very bad.
And yeah, playing against Mr. Juggernaut there would have been quite tough. But
I was heartbroken he didn't let me take 358th. I wanted to show the ISU power.
Yeah, we were talking about that here as well, because those bands seemed really focused on you. And the other band I was always surprised by was AK. I didn't know you were so well known for your AK play. But that must have been a personal band as well, right?
Maybe someone scared him with it, I'm not sure. Maybe, you can always have like a traumatic experience with a certain division and then never want to face it again.
Yeah.
It's a common occurrence.
Like, that seemed like an anti-Luna pick more than an anti-Luna pick to me.
No, I like AK, but yeah. Weird choice.
Yeah, well played with the ARM 38s as well. They were Incha level of ARM 38s for sure in all the games.
Yeah. I was heartbroken that you called me Incha in the dev blog. That Mad Matt put out. Or maybe Mad Matt called me that. I've no idea.
Did I call you Incha? I might have confused
in the dev blog.
I typed that within 5 minutes, not gonna lie.
Oh, fucking Stardeck.
Oh yeah, I
Stardeck feeding him bans. What the fuck? This is ban worthy. Telling him that I like AK, fucking scum.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was on me. I mean, because I was like, Madman was like, "Yeah, we're finishing the dev blog now. You have 5 minutes to type me a message." That clutch.
Nah, it's okay. I didn't play enough Soviets to provide the true Incha experience.
True.
But I think I wanted to take Scots, but didn't have the chance.
But for you, we had enough moments for Bowser to be joyful about his predictions, so you at least had to show him that Pren guns are strong and that he is wrong about that at least.
Excellent.
Because he had a couple of really good guesses today. Like to
be fair, the Panzer IVs look better than they normally do in the first game.
Yeah.
Because the T-34-85 is one of the only tanks that kind of struggles against them.
Yeah. That was quite interesting as well. But yeah, I really thank you for an amazing season. I hope we see you back next season again. Or and you don't run
Who
away.
knows? I
from another
might
play.
do the classic Div 1 experience and just leave after winning, or
Yeah.
leave after anything really.
It would be lovely to have you back. And
We can finally let Stardeck get into Div 1.
oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That will be interesting.
Stardeck, Sir Daniel's Div 1 final. That's my prediction.
Ooh. Yeah, and maybe Luna for one season completely in
Oh, yeah,
Division 1.
of
That would
course.
be interesting as well.
He just has to not get tilted,
Yeah.
which is very hard in this game.
True.
Of course.
Like that's the biggest opponent in Division 1 in general. Enemy tilt. Yeah. And the burnout rate. Hopefully not as big next season. I'm really looking forward to it. And really thanking all of the viewers here for watching and supporting the Match Arena, guys. Once more, guys. If you want to help out Insha paying for his next coffee, Yamin. Fucking hell, I did it again.
Wow. Wow.
Check out the Match Arena.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah. Get over there. And yeah, Yamin, thanks for an amazing season. Thanks for coming by for this nice little chat. And congratulations
worries,
once
thank
more
you.
for getting a lovely title here.
Thank you for hosting, as usual.
Yeah. Big shout out to Green HD for organizing most of the stuff on the back end. Fantastic work there as well, as always.